that. Oh, you can see that. Go on my channel. You guys can see this either. Ooh, hold up. We're not trying to show all that. I'm not trying to show that. Okay. Where did we go? YouTube Studio? Content. Live. Ooh, we're streaming on my art channel. Let's see. Let's disable this page. So no, it's not made. We don't have a thumbnail for this. We don't have a thumbnail for this. And I should have a description too. Yeah. So I'm just filling in the info for this YouTube part of the stream. It should only be like a minute longer or something. Meanwhile, hopefully you guys can hear this Herbalizer soundtrack, you know. Hopefully that's pretty cool. Damn, I can't even freaking do that. How would I even do that? I wonder if I could switch accounts and it still streams on HK on the art channel. I just need to copy this description right here. Cool. Let's switch accounts. All right. Now let's just copy and paste that. Now let's save. Alright, so far so good. Well, I have a picture of my old little banner picture. That's pretty interesting. So I'm gonna just test out how it's sounding right now, so give me a second. How do I even see that? Okay, I think it's. Where do you see that? Is it? Go on my channel. You guys can see. Oh, hold up. Let me do it one more time. Ooh, that's loud. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. Okay. How do I even see that? Just hearing myself. Okay, I think it's. Where do you see that? Is it? Oh, hold up. Let me do it one more time. Ooh, that's loud. This is a test. This is a test. This is a test. Okay. Yeah. Just hearing myself. Just hearing myself. Okay. Hopefully the quality is good. Who knows? We'll see. I don't know. All right. Cool. All right. That's nice. Whatever. Okay. Cool. All right. So. Volume mixer sounds, levels, nice. Okay, all right. So, all right, let's do it. So I'm still working on this little splash page cover. Let me see. Second. I'm so used to putting on my headphones. I'm playing through the speakers. This is new territory. All right. Oh, I forgot to test the comments. Damn it. Oh man, that's the last piece of the puzzle. That's the last piece of the puzzle right there. I'm not sure if comments will work on the YouTube channel. After I have this down, then it's gonna be cool because I could just select if I'm streaming gaming, I can just do my YouTube. Fighting game stuff, if I do art, then I can just do the Laboratory 13 or whatever I call that channel. So I'll no longer have to only do one YouTube. Alright, so let me go on YouTube again. Let me see if I can see a comment. I'm using this transparent Twitch chat on my desktop that you can't see. But I'm not sure how to connect that to Streamlabs, so it's kind of a little annoying. Okay, hopefully, cross my fingers. Does that work? No, it doesn't. I'm not able to see my YouTube. How do I see that? How do I see that? That's annoying. Right now, for now, just do the restream. Let me try that. Settings, widgets, create widget, restream, chat. Restream. Let's go on restream and do the chat there. Embed chat. No wait, chat settings. Embed chat. Copy. Paste. Allows you to click on website content like login button. Okay. And now we got a restream chat right here. Nice. Save. Okay, not bad, not bad. Then let's test right here. Cool, let's test right here. Cool. Wait, that doesn't work. What the hell? No, that's for a restream, so that might not. Wait, hold on, what? Damn, I'm confused. I'm just trying to see two chat bots at the same time. Yeah, I see that. That's cool. But not here though. This is weird, but we'll stick to this for now. That's weird. Oh, I see what's going on. All right, I see what's going on. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I see what's going on. I can fix this. We'll get to drawing in a second. All right. So this is my normal channel. Then where do I go? Account settings. Yeah. There we go. Primary. And then we go to unmerge. Wait, do we have to do that every time? It's crazy. Can I add another YouTube? Import subscriptions. Damn, I can't even. It's not good, man. It's not good. That's not cool. Uh-oh. Do I need a new one? Damn, I'm fucking everything up, bro. Continue. Continue. Okay, that works. Hopefully. Nice. Now I should be able to... Wait, what should I be able to do? Okay, let's see, restring US like that. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're cool. All right, we're cool now. We should be good. So now I'm going to try on Twitch to do another. Cool, that works pretty well. And then I'm gonna go on YouTube and try another comment there. On HKS Lab. And that works. Okay, cool, we're good. That took a long time, but we're fine, we're good now. Okay, now we're getting to drawing finally. So yeah, I've been working on this little promotional comic page. This is what we got so far. This is what we got so far. So I can delete this restream chat right here. Yeesh, that took so fucking long. Alright. So yeah, we're just gonna be doing much of the same. I'm just gonna be drawing. It's just gonna be pretty much a music playlist, a music stream anyway. So for now, what we're working on is this guy right here, which this is a kind of a sketch of this dude right here. You can see that he's this guy in the middle. Oh, I can't even draw on his damn thing for some reason. Okay. Yeah, but he's this guy right here in the middle. Oh, I see why. So yeah, he's the guy in the middle right here. So we're kind of drawing him. And really, I'm just using this reference. He's a character in my soon-to-be comic for now. So it's this guy in the bottom right here. I just learned a lot about setting up a stream in that short amount of time. I'm glad now because I can stream on the either YouTube pretty easy now. So as you can see, all my characters are right here. We kind of improved the woman from what we were doing last. It kind of made the camera kind of look more even, I would say. Even though I want it to look more up above, but I'm not trying to be perfectionist and put her in kind of the right angle and stuff. It's like, it's not that serious, you know. This is already a big project to do, you know. This isn't even a comic, so I just kind of want to get it done. So we made this guy in the meantime. Now, let me turn on the music. So really, I don't know, hold on, because I might clip what I'm about to say. I'm about to go on my usual spills, but do I want the music to play in the back? That's the thing. Fuck it, I'll just say briefly. There's been an argument recently, if you see on the Twitter sphere, on the X sphere, whatever you want to call it, that you have people saying that, hey, you shouldn't use you shouldn't trace. There's something called Art Fight, and they do like a competition. Maybe it's like annually or something. I don't know. But they have in one of the rules you can't trace 3D models. Even if you made the picture, even if you made the model on some 3D program like Blender, you can't trace off the models. And people are saying, well, look, Da Vinci traced. Look at Gage, who made Jujutsu Kaisen, he traces all the time. I'm seeing all these things about how these famous artists, famous English impressionist artists, famous realism artists back in the 17th century, like artists throughout time have traced 3D models. Even if that's true, so you still shouldn't do that, in my opinion. I think somebody said it best. You can tracing 3D, because think about this. I use 3D models for this, what you see in front of me, right? In terms of, you see that? That's a 3D model. In terms of, I use that to make this right now. And I don't even like the final result, but it's such a hard angle because I want to draw him diving in perspective. I can't do that. I don't have the skills to do that, to be honest with you. Something like this, a normal angle of some statesman trying to make a case to the parliament, that's easy for me. That's just a normal angle, normal whatever. That's not hard. I don't. There was zero reference used. Well, there was a model used for this, but I didn't really need it. It was just a general. Let's say less reliance on reference for this guy than this guy. So, yeah, I didn't really need that. I don't really need it for this guy. So, when it comes to, let me see here. Give me a second. When it comes to, and actually, hold on one second. Because I might, since I've tested already that I've streamed on the YouTube for this guy. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, anyway, yeah, so picking back up on that, like I didn't need it for this guy as much. And for the other characters, like this character I'm drawing currently, there was no reference used for this person, right? Um let's see. And nevertheless, sorry I got sidetracked. Nevertheless, it's a helpful thing to use. But somebody said it best to where if you're a beginner artist, then you can't rely on this to where it doesn't help you because you're just relying on it as a crutch. But if you're already an artist who knows what he's doing, then it's something to save time. So that's kind of, I think he said it best when it comes to, professional famous artists using um, 3D models to trace. Even still, I don't trace with 3D models. You can see here I have tons of them, right? When it comes to this, and that's the model I did use for this. But, you know, um, and really for many of these things I've used once, especially for something hard like this is what I'll be more reliant on. But as you can see, it's not lined up to the character, right? It's not like I'm tracing the character to where it's like, put this opacity like this, turn all these characters off, right? And then make a new layer and then start tracing, right? And then start tracing like this, you know. First off, you could tell I could do. If I did that, you'd be able to tell because it looks super stiff. Not saying it doesn't already look stiff, but it looked more stiff if I'm just tracing, and that's the problem with using 3D, right? And also, the fact is that um, the fact is that it's gonna look stiff regardless. That's the problem with relying on 3D models. Is like there's a stiffness that it looks like. Even this, I feel like it looks a little stiff, but just the fact that my kind of middle ground is simply putting it next to where you want to draw it, and then you just draw the image and just use it as a picture reference, not tracing a 3D like you're doing rotoscoping. You know, some middle ground I can see is some people did model like their own, tables, their own guns, and they have their characters carry it and they make their own model in Blender. Even if you don't make it, you just download one, whatever the hell. So I could kind of see that that's like in the realm of doing 3D art, right? So is that considered cheating? But that's a different ball game when it comes to us as 2D artists, to where definitely more. That whole realm is more assistance, right? So there's a lot of gray area, but all in all, I feel like my method is pretty cool because the difference between tracing this and just using this as a reference is not that big. I mean, it's not that much time saving just to trace it, even if I line it up right. So this to looking at it and then drawing it still builds muscle memory, and still builds hand-eye coordination. That's what I'm trying to say. So that was a long, very disjointed spill, but that's kind of how I feel about it. End of the day. Um. So yeah. All right. So hope I didn't make any crazy changes, but yeah. But to me, the whole goal is to get less reliant on it, to be more sure with what you're doing. That's the whole point. I'm not a master artist, so of course I'm gonna try and speed things up. And also, I can see how people still use it because what are you trying to do? To me, I see people make a single picture and then they use that. It's just like, are you trying to be? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to be like a good painter, a good artist? Then to me, that's a person who especially should learn anatomy and the fundamentals to rely on it less. For me, who's trying to be a storyteller, then it makes more sense to do what others will consider cheat because if my goal is to tell a story, my goal is not to be the best artist. My goal is to tell a story. So you're going to use that tool in order to tell a story as effective as possible. So that's another thing to consider. You know, like if you're just like a digital painter, you just do paintings, commissions. To me, it'll make more sense for you to be better with the pen, you know? So, yeah. All right. Now let's, having said all that, we're going to continue working on this. We're going to continue working on this.
Is my body mine? Is my body mine? Is my body mine?
I might just stream on this. I don't know. I might just stream on this YouTube channel. Who knows?
Is my fear real? Is my fear real? Is my fear real? I check my windows before I go to sleep. Make sure everything is locked. Say a sad little prayer. I'll be safe while I sleep. Check my glass before I sip. Never leave my glass alone. Never ever leave my glass alone. Is my body mine?
I'm trying to think what direction should he be facing, because you always want to tell a story while you're doing this, you know?
Keep a knife by my bed. Lay a bat near my head.
I know who this guy is,
Body mine?
or I know his role in the
Is
story.
my body mine?
So what should he be doing? Yeah.
Is my body mine? Is my body mine? Look over my shoulder as I walk to my car.
Considering all that, I'm not sure really. And where should they be looking overall? Where should the people be looking? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think in general people are looking forward, so I'm not gonna have him look this way. That's kind of awkward, you know. So, having said that, he's really gonna be looking. Gonna be looking forward.
I can't forget that it's there.
But his eyes shouldn't be.
Don't let myself be
Shouldn't be that. You know, shouldn't be that big.
Don't let
This is a
myself
grown
be a
man.
target.
Generally, in anime, like
But I'm no
the
less
smaller
alive
your
than I
eyes
am.
are, the more mature you look. You know. I guess that's just for drawing.
I told her he touched me, but she just looked the other way.
In this case, it's better to do
What
different
about a
layers.
woman's search for meaning?
So that's
I walk
fine.
alone
Something like
at
this.
night. In my dreams,
But this is what I mean in terms of there is no
I walk alone
reference
at night.
used for this
And
guy.
the moon lights my path.
Like the more comfortable you get, the less you rely on it. So this dude, I just sketched him, and if you want to see the sketch, it's I don't even have the sketch anymore because I just
I
deleted
walk
it
alone
and then
at
you drew
night.
over it. Do I? I don't
I'm
think I have it
always
anymore.
searching for you.
Yeah,
And when I
but that's
finally
part of
find
speeding
you,
up is that you don't need the undersketch either. You can just get to what you want to get to. You know, I can't even prove my innocence. You know.
you'll get what you deserve. I walk alone at night. I'm always searching for you. And when I finally find you, you'll get what you deserve.
And generally, I just want to rely on less layers as
My
possible.
body
Like,
mind.
if you're a digital artist, that's what you should do. You should try and draw things as in little. I wish somebody had given that advice years ago. Draw
Is my body
in as
mine?
little layers as possible, always.
Is my fear real?
Try to resemble drawing in real life as much as possible and to close the gap between digital and physical, you know? Because at the end of the day, drawing physically is the best for practice, for learning, for everything. It's a hard pill to swallow, bro. Especially if you are by default digital artist. But physical is the best. And I don't even draw physical. I haven't done that in years, you know? Like I do that once a year. I'll draw a picture in real life. Not even like once every 2 years. Sometimes I'll just draw a few things in a sketchbook. So I'm not sure. It's probably gonna be a short stream. I just want to test, like, you know, the ability to stream on a second YouTube channel, even though that YouTube channel only has 30 subscribers. But I still need to build it, which I plan to. Stay tuned. You know. Like what I'm drawing here, it's this symbol right here. This is what I'm drawing, right? But just being able to do it faster than normal by just building hand-eye coordination. And this is what happens when you don't rely on reference overly like that. Then you start to build a 3D visual map, you know? And so I can naturally just draw it like that without having to use the transform tool and, you know, do this, go here, go to fucking skew or perspective and try and make it, you know, like how it should be here. Like, it's much faster just to draw it instead of finding the right tool for the job, you know? Obviously, that's not always going to be the case. There are some complicated things that you need that for that will speed it up. But here, see how I'm already done, you know? I was, you know, and obviously not perfect, but and this symbol needs to be bigger. See, so I will use a transform tool, but I'll know when to use it to speed up per case. But it's not the default, you know? You know what I'm saying? So something like this. That's one thing digital you cannot replicate on digital. I mean, on physical, is like the ability to just flip your canvas like this and to see your painting in a new light. That's just instrumental, completely instrumental. I mean, it's just crucial, you know, which you cannot do in the physical world, you know. So, oh, by the way, let me link my YouTube real quick. Let me at least link this live. Just to let people know. Ooh, am I on Twitch? Yeah, I'm on Twitch and this. Okay, yeah. Just to link it and let you guys know that I'm also streaming on YouTube along with Twitch, you know. So, click that and subscribe if you haven't been seeing this on Twitch, you know. Okay. All right. I have no clue what the hell I just drew here, but it's gonna be covered with a mustache anyway, so it don't even matter.
Was it loneliness that brought you here? Broken and weak.
But there's an issue, which I kind of fucked up at, right? There's an issue.
That made you sleep.
His mouth
Have you
is
lost your world?
yeah, like that.
Spinning round.
And then the mustache doesn't completely cover the top lip, you know? So it kind of goes like this.
The walls came tumbling down.
But what's his facial expression going to be?
Pray to God, what have we done?
And honestly,
Free me from
this is something you gotta think about. Which this is with no reference, you gotta kind of know what you're doing, you know? It's not all sunshine.
my way.
So if this is a normal eye, right? A normal cartoon eye, and then you're looking at it from below, then you need to see that it's seeing the top of the eyelid, right? So, which means that in order to represent that, a representation of that in a cartoon form would just be like this. You'll just see like this, and then you'll see, you know, like this. And then you'll see the eyebrow like that. You know what I mean? Because you're looking at it from the top, so you're gonna see more of it. And then, just knowing geometry, it's gonna be more like this, like that. The curve may seem more pronounced, right? Versus if it was at the top, it'd be like this. You know what I mean? And it'd be like that. See? And the eye will appear like you'll see more of the bottom lid like that, and the eyebrow will be like this. Oops. Eyebrow will be generally lower, so it'll be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I'm just thinking about this, you know? So I gotta represent that here. So, notice I kind of already did. It's kind of already pronounced like this, but what I want to do is kind of show a little bit of that. That's the thing about doing this cartoony kind of form, is like you pick and choose how much rendering you want to do, how much anatomy you want to show. That's up to you. You know what you want to do. And I do want him to look concerned, but not. His eyes are kind of too big to me, in my opinion. See, that looks much better. Because he's presented as a villain, you know? And this rendering is not helping anybody. This rendering is not helping no one. So yeah, like something like this. I'm trying to make this rendering a little, you know, a little more accurate to the perspective. Yeah, it's a simple shape, so it's not hard, but this is what you practice on when you do your lessons and stuff. Like I'm doing a lesson for Steve on in terms of animation bootcamp. I bought this thing in a COVID era, so I bought it for cheap, like $200 some bucks, and it's really, he normally charges like maybe 800 to 1,000. And then this is one of the homework assignments that is given to the boot camp class, you know, is to draw semi-complex shapes like this, you know, like something like this, something like that, you know, maybe some shape like this, some complex thing like this, and then draw in a different angle. So you got to do it like from this angle, right? So he wants you to think of volume. This is what animators do, you know. And then something like this. So he wants you to think, how would this look like if you were to see this from, you know, from this angle, right? You see, I'm just quickly doing that. And so I didn't do the homework assignments because it's like, you know, to me, the homework is like the hyperbolic time chamber, but I'm already in the cell games. I'm already doing all the comic related stuff. So the cell games is also training too, you know. So I just want to learn the lessons and then I'll enact it in the cell games, you know. But this is one of the homework assignments he does, you know, stuff like this. To think in volume, but to a lesser extent, a simple shape like what's on this guy's hat is important. It's kind of the same lesson in terms of think of how the symbol would look like if it was posed in perspective, you know? I'm talking a lot. Let's keep drawing. How about that? It's not perfect. You see, I guess for me, now that I think about it, I'm using the transform tool a lot, but I'm just doing little small edits here and there. Some things that I could easily just draw, but it's just faster for that. But I'm not like making the shape entirely and using a line tool, a Bezier tool, you know, and then posing it. I'm not doing none of that, you know. It's just kind of small edits, you know. Yo, subtitles. What up, bro? Are you the dude who was, again, any tech and knowledge eludes me at this point. Are you the dude who made Panda back in T7? Or that's somebody else? But what's up, man? If that's you, what's up, bro? All right. Oh yeah, okay, all right. My memory is still consistent. Oh yeah, I met you in person. Also Miguel. I think I did, if I'm correct. But yeah. You also made Miguel. For sure. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. For sure, man. Yeah, man, we don't play Tekken anymore, bro. Well, I'm gonna stream Tekken 8 a few more times. But I don't really play it anymore. I'm more committed to the artist life, and I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat 1. I know it's crazy. I play more Mortal Kombat 1 than any other game. Fighting game refugee, that's what we call it. Fighting game caravan, man. Oh, just the Miguel waiting room, or was it? Damn, I used to do like Miguel. Miguel. What I used to do? I did twice to where it was like a Miguel lobby. I did that. That was fucking fun. I missed that. And then I did the Miguel community highlights video too. That was freaking fun, man. I understand why a lot left. T8 doesn't feel the same. Yeah. Yeah, I had fun with T8, but I never got into it. Well, first I've only bought it like 3 months ago. I never got into it seriously. I feel like if I were to play the game seriously, I'd be pissed. But just not taking it seriously from the jump makes it more enjoyable. You taught me, Miguel. Damn. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yeah, Miguel was one of a kind, man. Since then, I played, you know, Toys KO, played MK1, I played a bunch of other games. Gotten pretty good at it too. But nothing, my guy is not there, you know. Okay. But you know. How should I do this? This should be lower, maybe like this. Yeah, it's a Marvel token waiting room for me. Okay, I didn't care for Invincible Versus. You know, let's just say I have not a lot more newfound time, and so I've been playing a lot more fighting games. You know. I'm actually pretty damn good at MK1, and 2SKO I'm pretty good with Yasuo. Marvel Token, did that ever come out? Is that out yet? I didn't get a chance to play that game or a demo or anything. But to me, I don't like an American game made for Japan. To me, it's just like I don't like how it's like you're going backwards. Like you have Marvel 3, then you have Infinite, then you have that. It's just, does that game seem like a worthy? Does that game look all that much better than Marvel 3? And it's been like freaking 20 years. To me, you know, it's not a clear progression in the genre, in my opinion. I know it's a different company, most likely, but unimpressive. Especially if you grew up in the 90s, unimpressive. You said no, not yet, just the beta came out a while ago. Okay. Look, I'm a free agent in fighting games. I'll play anything. You know? Fighting game refugee, so to me I'm not really opinionated. To me, I like 3 better than Infinite visual-wise. So of course, Infinite was underwhelming visually, and that's putting it as light as it can be, you know. Man, but I did play Infinite. I did play Max's Infinite and Beyond. I did play that. It's fun, and Infinite gameplay-wise is actually pretty fun in a little bit, you know, outside of the auto combos. But you know, yeah, I don't like yeah, exactly. Visually, it's toast, and ideal-wise, there's a couple cool characters. Jeddah, I like Venom, you know. Mega Man X, they finally gave it to you after we've been asking for years. But you know, it's more lipstick on a pig, especially Max's patch, you know. They need there to be a comic book style. That's what made 3 so much better. Oh yeah, and 3, yeah, visually was cool, you know, and you could hear those flipped pages in the menus and stuff. And 3 just has so much cool characters, offensive. See, 3 set the template for modern fighting games. It's fun on one side of the game. It's like an NBA player who doesn't play defense, right? It's like what they think Luka is, or Jokic, or many other players. It's fun on one side. Offensively, Marvel 3 is a dream. Defensively, it's frustrating. This is how modern fighting games feel today. What else did you say? Oh, well, to me, the thing I'm waiting for the most is that Avatar fighting game. I think that's cool. I think that's gonna be tight. We're gonna be playing that, you know. All right, let's continue with this shit. Ooh, that's a huge mouth line. Dude, I applied to play the beta twice and got denied both times. I never got an email back. So we might do some, I don't know. I mean, it's only gonna be $30 or some shit. I might buy it, or we could, you know, put on our straw hat, you know, and cosplay as Luffy and play it that way, you know. But You know, I mean, that's something I want to support for sure. You know, so we might wait until that comes out. Obviously, unless you thought it was gonna be some Flash game. He said some Flash game. I don't know why people are saying that. It looks, dude. They haven't made 2D fighting games in so long. People think it looks like Flash. They confuse good 2D animation with internet stuff. That's how devalued 2D animation is in fighting games. It's a sad state of affairs, you know. I don't know. I guess it sounds like me when I was talking about King Fighters 14 or 15. Like, to me, that game looked like it was on the PS2, and people complain, like, what are you talking about? Like, get your eyes checked, stuff like that. They put so much love and time into it with the animations and the combat mechanics. See, when I'm interested in a game, I don't even want to look at it. I still haven't even seen Invincible versus gameplay. I haven't even seen it. Other than some trailers, I try not to look at Avatar right now. I don't want to look at it at all until I play it. And so I want a fresh opinion, you know. I guess you only do that about things you care about. If I don't care about something, I don't care about getting spoiled. I don't care about looking at it, you know. So to this day, I haven't even seen Invincible gameplay. Speaking of Invincible, I was like, okay, if I even look at this character select screen, I'm gonna get spoiled because I never read Invincible, never watched Invincible besides the first season, which was what, only like a couple episodes or something. Never seen season 2, season 3, whatever. Didn't hear good things about Invincible, the show, but I heard good things about the comic, especially when they compare the show designs to the comic designs. I'm a comic guy by nature, so literally last week I've been reading Invincible, and I made it to chapter 51. Then I dropped it. For someone who has played Invincible versus, it's fun. Not my type of game, but I do think there's an audience for it. To me, it's very fun to play. All right, that's important. That's cool. But to complete my story, I read 51 chapters of Invincible, and then I'm like, I'm confused as to why this was made into a guest character in MK1, a video game, animation, animated OVA. I'm confused. Like, to me, it's just a default normal comic book of the early 2000s, you know? It's just a run-of-the-mill comic that, if you've read any Western comic, you know, featuring a default, you know, Caucasian young main character in a Western city, in a nondescript Western city. It's like any other comic. It's slow paced, it's kind of slice of lifey. It's decent. The main character has no goal really, Mark, you know? Like no, but that's typical for this era, especially for a superhero comic, you know? That'd be worse if this was something more story driven, like in an anime or something. But he's saving the day, he's dealing with girl problems, he's, you know, just a typical anime. But the way it's presented, you'd think this is something great. And this, you know, just run the mill. I can't even say anything bad about it, it's just, you know, this is an uneventful piece of fiction, you know? I need to get back into reading. I still read my manga sometimes. Yeah, bro. I would suggest, I mean, obviously that's where it's at. I always implore people to read the source material, obviously, because these days 99% of animes are adaptations anyway, right? So, you know, I just want to read the source to see what it's about. You know, people complaining about the anime changes. Let me just read the source, right? And yeah, so now I no longer care about and some of these characters, like that one Viltrumite with the hair, she's like an Asian woman. I'm like, bro, I'm 50 something chapters in. I only saw her once. Is there something that I'm missing? And then some of these, like, I'm Tula. Oh yeah, that's her name. Okay, like maybe 100 something chapters in. I don't want to spoil anybody if they happen to be watching this, but there's nothing really to spoil. It's just a linear slice of life comic show on the vein of like a Tiger and Bunny, if you ever seen that, but less Family Matters-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch Tiger and Bunny, it's a superhero anime, but it's not about superheroes. It's about family problems, and it's about relationships and being a better man type shit. This is kind of in between like I don't know, it's weird. Superhero genre is weird because first off, you have to read a lot of this stuff, which a lot of the best ones are only in reading form. If you read a webtoon called Sidekicks, highly recommend, and that's to me the best superhero thing I ever read, you know. But obviously the West has been making this stuff for eons, you know. But you know, yeah. So I'm saying these characters, and the one character that has the red on, like, okay, 51 chapters, and then I was skipping around ahead just to see if anything interesting happens, and it's just like, no, there's not really a prominent character in this work, you know. It's just a very low stakes show. So it's like there was nothing to even get spoiled by. Nothing even happens, you know. And honestly, I'm not saying that as like a bad thing. It's just, yeah, just a very, you know, very lighthearted show to me. And I feel like the anime season 1, last thing I'm gonna say is that the season 1 anime, that's really up the ante when it comes to the temperature of the show, the emotional temperature of the show. It upped the ante, and they made it like, oh, this is serious in terms of, you know, Omni-Man, stuff like that. Like, it's way more lighthearted in the comic, you know. So I think the anime did a better job of that. But I'm sorry, I don't want to say anything else. It's just like, you have the devices to make something great and dynamic, but you kind of don't, you know. So having said all that, you know, I'm free to play the game. I know it's out right now. I'll play it eventually, you know, see what it's about. So, all right. See, when it comes to doing this stuff, less is more. Like, I could add a whole line like this, and that might work, but this is kind of like that old school One Piece style where they had the lips like fully drawn in. Man, I miss how One Piece used to look like back in like the first 3 arcs. It would look something like this instead of typical anime would be like this, you know? You know what I'm saying? One Piece, and then their eyes will be like full eyes like this. This is like old school One Piece style, you know? Man, that show looks so like, a lot of people don't like the style. I do like it. I do like the old one, the old style before it looked like everything else, you know? So does this guy have thin or thick lips? Nah, he got pretty thick lips right here. So we'll settle with this. How's the nose? Is that cool? That's pretty cool. Let's make that a little. That's pretty cool. I think we're good here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Oh, we need the hair. Still here to study and do. I still need to get back into art. Oh, really? So you were in art? You were into it at one point? I misplaced my Apple Pencil. Bro, I dropped my Apple Pencil like freaking last week, and now it doesn't even, I can't even use tilt anymore. It can only do pressure sensitivity now. Such a fucking scam, bro. And I'll continue to buy into the scam because the Apple Pencil combined with the iPad is still the best digital drawing experience, sadly. So I know what you mean, man. Have I lost Apple Pencil? No, I just dropped it. The first time I dropped it, the pressure sensitivity stopped working, and so I had to buy another one. And then I must have lost another one, and then now this third one, I dropped it off a table. Not even a big drop, bro. And it had a freaking cover on it. You see this Apple Pencil? Can you see this? And I have this cover on it. And dropped, and then it hit the tip of the pencil, you know, and then it stops recognizing tilt. Still am, just haven't felt the drive since I'm so drained from work. Yeah, I feel that. But you know, good thing about the Apple Pencil is that, I mean, iPads, that's portable. I don't know which one you have. If you have the 11-inch, I'll always recommend people get the smaller one, not the 13. If you have an iPad Pro or an Air, I always recommend the 11 because it's portable enough to where you can have in your backpack. Whatever you do, public transportation, you're waiting on whatever, maybe you need to Uber, maybe something, maybe you have a break, then you can just pull it out and draw, you know? And it's big enough to where you can, you know, use it like how I'm not using an iPad right now, but you can use it on the desk, put it on a stand, and it's still a worthwhile, you know, experience. I think I have the 10.8 inch, okay. So pretty much 11 inch. I used to have a 9.7 inch iPad 6 back in the day. Then I got this is my second iPad. I got an iPad Pro 2021. This is the one with the M1 chip that uses Apple Pencil Pro. The one that connects to the iPad, not the one that has the barrel roll or the Find My iPad, you know, Find My iPhone thing. So now at this point I have an old one. It's a 2021 iPad Pro. But 11 inches is just a perfect size, you know? And people have made full comics and made a career off of making a comic just on an 11 inch iPad. Look at Tyler C. Creator on Twitter. He doesn't use it anymore, but he used to use the 11 inch iPad for making comics, you know? I just hate how the Apple Pencil is so damn brittle. And if you go online and you see how to service it, they don't service it. They just say there is no replaceable parts on the iPad Apple Pencil, so you need to replace the whole thing. Apple just making free money off this scam, bro. Meanwhile, I have a Samsung pencil using Wacom, a third-party Wacom, and I don't have to charge it. Tilt works, everything works, and it's in the form factor of an actual pencil. You know what I mean? And I can use multiple different pencils on the same tablet because it's all Wacom compatible. You know what I mean? There's so many options if you get like a Wacom Move Ink, you know, or any sort of Samsung Galaxy Tab or anything like that. So this is what I use. I don't use iPad for my main drawing device because you can only use one pencil and it's so frail, you know, and it's so expensive. Samsung pencils are half the cost of Apple Pencil, and Apple Pencils aren't even cross-compatible between different iPads. So now there's like 4 different versions of Apple Pencil now, you know. I never had to replace mine before. I have carpet floor. It's nice. Okay, I feel that. But think about it, but if you're using it like how it's intended and you're really making a good use out of it, like I'm saying, that you can become a very good artist just by drawing on breaks or waiting on a ride or something. Anything, you know. I used to do it all the time. Back when my car wasn't working and I'd wait for Uber, and that's how I did my arcade stick art. Half that time was waiting after work, you know, and just drawing in the break room, shit like that. Dude, I bought the wrong pencil. I'm all so mad. Got a refund 2 days later. Yeah. So you need to do heavy research and stuff. It's just, they make shit so hard to make more money. This is why they don't put Mac OS on the iPad, despite iPads having M series chips. They don't put desktop class OSs on the iPad. So they just want to make more money. It's a scummy ass company. Scummy company that produces a good device, unfortunately. I mean, I make beats on the iPad. I draw on the iPad. I freaking write my story on the iPad. My comic story using Scrivener app. I do so much shit on. I read, books, PDFs on the iPad. I read comics on the iPad. There's just an infinite amount of things to do. To be honest with you. I kind of don't even know how this dude's hair goes. Like, I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I just want it to look like it's bursting out of the hat. And it's fucked up because all the accuracy of the iPad and their digitizer is no other device beats it. So when you're doing other things other than drawing, where you're like using an MPC like Koala, and you're beat making, you're doing this, like that helps. The accuracy of the iPad helps to actually doing like, to actually making shit. You know what I'm saying? And Android can't compete with that. That's the unfortunate truth, Trick solidly is not following. I just got a notification that someone followed me. I'm not sure if it was on Twitch or YouTube, but thanks for that, But yeah, anyway. So obviously this stuff is not going to be like this. Yeah, thanks, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, here I just play maybe old school hip hop, random indie music. We draw, and randomly we'll play some games, But anyway, yeah. So, and this is what I always tell people I know is like, if you're doing digital art, you're still good vibes and drawing. I'm here for this at 7 a.m. Nice. Damn, where are you from? You must be across the world, not in the US. That's what's up though. It's a lot easier. That's the time I should be waking up if I was a more responsible adult. It's a lot easier for me to draw with iPad. I used to draw on a Wacom 1, but I just didn't really like having to connect an HDMI to my pencil. I feel that too much wires. Yeah. So I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab Ultra. Samsung Galaxy S8 Tab Ultra. It's the 14.6 inch Android tablet from Samsung. You're from the Netherlands? Oh, that's dope. Hey, shout out to you, man. Not quite the Netherlands, but I always wanted to go to Prague. And I think that's in Czech Republic, right? Pretty sure? Yeah. And also, I wish where I'm from had a biking culture like the Netherlands does. And it's not so car dependent like here in freaking Texas, That's a side note. I could go on and on about that. But I'm using a Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, and I'm running an app called Super Display. It's on Android. It only costs like $10. And here you don't even need a wire at all. I can do what I'm doing now. I can do it wirelessly, because right now my Samsung Galaxy Tab is being used as like a, like a Cintiq to my computer. And so using that app, I only need one USB wire. It doesn't even have to be a thick HDMI. It can just be a USB-C wire, And I can do it wirelessly too. So that's kind of what I'm doing. A Samsung tablet holder. I love my S8 image drawing solutions. Yes, exactly. See, this guy knows. He gets it, bro. The Samsung S8 line, especially the Ultra line, is the best kept secret in terms of an amazing drawing device. There's tons of real estate. An extremely minimal gap between the screen and your pen. The parallax is amazing, just as good as the iPad Pros, if not better. Actually, I think the Samsung's a little bit better than iPad in my opinion, in terms of the gap, the screen gap. But super flat, it feels like you're drawing all actually on the screen. It's amazing, Tons of research brought me to this point. I used to have a Samsung Galaxy Samsung Galaxy Book 2 360 Pro, the one that flips all the way, the laptop, and it's also compatible with the Wacom pen. But the GPU was terrible on that. There was a huge gap where you draw and where the pen is. CPU wasn't that good. The laptop would get hot, it'd be noisy, and I returned that. I sold it to some college kid, and then I bought the S8 Ultra. So I downgraded from a laptop to a tablet, and I have not looked back, you know. So yeah, let me delete all this. Ooh, hold up. Okay. Oh, was I saying about digital art? Yeah. So like, it's a burgeoning industry to where it's like it's still a pioneersman's effort, you know. To where it's like, if you're doing digital art today, you're about 4 to 7 years too early, as of 2026. If you're doing digital art today, in 4 to 7 years, there's going to be some great devices that have desktop class OSs that have the form factor of a tablet, you know. So if you're doing digital art today, it's early. This is kind of how I see it. I could be wrong, but and early industries are exploitable, you know. Early and late industries are exploitable. Look at the internet today when it comes to all the AI, and it comes to the, you know, subscription, everything's AI. More than half the internet's bots. You can tell it's a late year when it comes to the internet, because and so that's why things that are early or late get the most exploited, you know. So until there's some alternative, or until there's some new standard, then nefarious entities are going to exploit as much as possible before there's a societal change, you know. Rambling, but I don't know if you guys agree with that, you know. Samsung is honestly the best tablet for traveling and drawing, as it's user-friendly and cheaper than Apple. Definitely cheaper than Apple, both the tablets and the pens. It's the price difference between pens when it comes to functionality, use, doesn't have to charge, that's crazy. So both the device and the pen, for sure, and accessories too. Yeah, I agree, dude, for sure. I agree. Not to mention Apple's more closed, locked down. It's hard to access the file manager, harder to sideload apps. It's again, the only thing Apple has is that the touchscreen is just more responsive to me. You know what I mean? Anything involving touch, it just feels more intuitive. But in terms of functionality, then Samsung has it beat, you know. Oh, and then there's more apps that you care about on Apple, since there's more users of it, more paying users on it, at least, you know. All right, so this is gonna be a problem because I don't know how to get this hair right. I might just stick with this, you know. But let me put this hair on its own layer. Ooh, hold up. Bam, bam. Oh, actually, hold up. Do this. Take off the iris. Bam. Now let me try and do this. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with this. I'm not really sure. Because again, this is a reference, right? I'm just referencing this guy right here. You know. I'm not really sure. Okay, and also this ear is kind of a little too vertical. Oh, hold up. It should be like this. Now, it's funny how I talk a lot of crap about transform tool, but I use it all the time. You gotta take advantage of what we're doing, you know? This is digital art after all. Honestly, I think I'm good with this, to be honest with you.
Affection, adoration, and I'm on top of the world.
I think this should be a little kind of like that, kind of like this.
He says he lost control. Well, I lost my power.
Like this, maybe. But I personally don't participate in the bike culture, as I generally hate biking and rather take public transportation. Nice. Okay, yeah. Both are good options. To me, both are better than a reliance on an automobile, you know? I've lived in places briefly to where public transportation is available, you know? And I'd much rather do that than car ownership, you know? But, you know, to each his own. Some people who only do that would want to have a car for certain things. Here where I live, you need a license to ride a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle license. I still haven't bought one, but that's something I kind of want to do. You know, I do have an e-scooter though, so that's pretty cool. Which that involves no pedaling, you know. But nah, I'd rather be in a spot to where you can, toward those two options. There's infrastructure for both options. If you either bike or you either take, you know, public transportation. So, and there's these bikes called fat bikes, and these kids go too fast and unfortunately run over and hit you. Fat bikes. I never heard of that. Interesting. So that sounds like they're biking where people walk. That's what it sounds like. And there's no like bike lanes, or maybe there is bike lanes, but it sounds like pedestrians and bikers share the same place. You know?
I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe.
Fat bikes are electrical bikes with the speed abilities of a small car. Oh wow, interesting. Okay. I guess we just call it e-bikes over here, I guess. All right, let's continue with this stuff. This is a weird mustache. I don't know how this is gonna work. But whenever you have some weird shaped hairstyle, that's good. That's a good thing in anime. You want characters to look different. That's a hallmark of what makes anime special. Look at it. Think about Goku's silhouette on his hair, you know? I quite kind of don't know how to do this though. This is a weird angle. Oh shit. Oops, sorry. Let's put that. We need to put that on a different layer. I've been run over by a few of them because I dared to cross the road in a pedestrian area. Dang. Wow, that sounds like a problem. That sounds like a problem. Sorry about that, bro. But see, it's all about the speed. If you get run over by that, then it'll hurt. You might fall, but you're not gonna have a life-changing injury. Imagine getting run over by a car, you know? Then that will kill you often, or that will seriously injure you, you know? Now imagine getting run over by a truck. Now imagine if most vehicles you see are not even regular sedans, but they're trucks. Which I'm not describing fiction. That's where I live, obviously in Dallas, in Texas. That's the norm of people driving trucks, right? So walking, biking, motorcycling, that's all you know, exponentially more dangerous, you know.
Buy me nice things. Shower me with praise. I just want to breathe. Affection. Adoration.
Not saying it's a competition, but you know,
And I feel like
just perspective. But I can see how that could be annoying. I can see that.
And then you're fucking mean. I just want to breathe. Call me cold and careless. Fuck you.
Whoa.
I just want to breathe. He says he lost control. I just want to breathe. Well, I lost my power, but I'm gonna get it back. I just want to breathe.
Okay, fuck it. We'll do that. This is gonna be some like square-shaped beard.
I just want to breathe.
Sometimes I just want to stick strictly to the reference and, you know, not change it.
I just want to
It's gonna be something like that.
breathe.
The love threw me off. I've been run over by a few of them because I dared to cross the road. Are you talking about the song or what I said? Because oh yeah, the song in terms of she just suddenly blurted that, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty simple drawing right here. We're just gonna, so this guy isn't like a freaking Hulk, so you gotta represent him like true to size, yeah. The band is called Pale Blue. I think it's a band from New Jersey or the East Coast. They make very experimental house music, you know. I like it. Pretty cool. I just like making playlists out of anything, you know. That's what I mean in terms of just making them more or less, you know, less wide shoulders, you know. True, but isn't it more fun for them to stop and apologize and perhaps personally have an autistic meltdown over unintentionally making them look like an even bigger asshole for running over a disabled lady? No, it's not fun, and I can tell there was sarcasm there. Yeah, it sounds rough. Nah, it sounds rough, you know. It sounds like a people problem, you know. See, that sounds like a people problem. Like, stop being a dick. Watch where you're going. Pay attention to the road. You know what I mean? And it probably sounds like the lanes and infrastructure wasn't designed for a mass use of electronic bikes. It was designed mainly for just manual bikes. That's what it sounds like to me. You know. So then it turns into a people problem more so, to where you should practice restraint. But if you think about the automobile problem, then that's kind of not a people problem. More so, it's more of a device problem. You know what I mean? The standard speed of a car is going to kill somebody if they ran into him. So if you run into him, it wasn't because you're going so fast. It was because you were using this type of vehicle. You know what I mean? Versus the bike, you need to go faster than intended in order to cause a problem. You know. So you can't blame, oh, why were you using a car? Why did you hit this person? Or using, like, nobody's gonna say that, you know what I mean? So it's just a more deadly environment, you know? And which is gonna cause people to not want to walk, you know? Which further exacerbates a problem of your city, you know? Which I can describe in length. Just come to any southern state in the US and you'll see what I'm talking about, you know? where it's dangerous. There's no infrastructure to walking. There's no proper sidelines. Even when I'm on the e-scooter, there's sometimes the sidewalk will just end, and then I have to ride in the road, right? And if my thing doesn't have like a light on the back, or it doesn't have a front light, then it's gonna be hard for vehicles to see me. And even then, it's running a risk of if I get hit by this, like I could die, you know. So combine the danger plus the lack of infrastructure, people don't want to walk, which means your city as a whole is more isolated, individual to individual. You know? I'm complaining about all this, but I have some plans in the work. I want to move pronto. Let me just say that. So, you know. And the thing about the U.S., which maybe it's the same for you are, but people here are, especially in the South, people here don't travel that much, and they don't really know how other people live, like how you're telling me. And so, and you combine that with, you know, just, I would say organic propaganda. It's not nefarious, but it's just, if you're from a country that's not really connected to the rest of the world, like most people just visit city to city or state to state, then you kind of don't know what normal is, you know? And then you tie that to the largest consumerist engine of the world and the largest advertising engine of the world historically, in terms of the United States exporting its way of life and propaganda through Hollywood, through vehicles, through, you know, Ford, through food, through celebrities. And you live in the home base of that, and then people tie, obviously, getting a truck, getting a vehicles to like your a rite of passage. You know what I mean? That's like something you do, and it's hard to get people to question that. You know, that makes sense. For someone who traveled in Asia and the USA, it's like a joke of an ecosystem. It is. And it hurts to say, because no one wants to talk about where they're from in a bad manner. You naturally want to defend where you're from, right? That's a natural, you know, just being human, right? But if you take off the biased lenses, then I have to agree with you, you know? It's true, you know? And if you see things a certain way, and the majority of people who live in your culture doesn't see it a certain way, then what needs to change? Is it them or you, you know? Rhetorical question. But yeah, I can see what you mean about how you traveled, and you know, the ecosystem is not I keep saying the infrastructure is not cool, you know. Father was USA military from Florida. He wasn't that open-minded about their lifestyles until you shoved it on him. Okay. Yeah, and again, see what I'm saying? A southern state. Again, especially in these places that historically have been isolated from the rest of the U.S., you know what I'm saying? And historically has lingered more behind economically than the rest of the U.S., especially post-Reconstruction after the Civil War. So this is literally the effects of things that happened in the 1800s, you know? And so all that isolation is like that, you know, has caught up. Let me just say that. I mean, it's come home to roost, you know? So the South is a bit different than being in freaking Philadelphia or New York or Grand Rapids, Michigan or some shit like that, you know? Anyway, but yeah, so I can see some certain things right here. So first off, this right here. Let's see, But it sounds like you have a diverse family group. You know, that's good. That's good. You know, I'm of Nigerian descent, so most of my family lives in Nigeria. You know, or in various places in Africa, in Gabon, and Mali. I've family everywhere in Chad and Niger, but mostly Nigeria though. So I guess to me, it's easier to have a different perspective, you know, in that way. Also, because he grew up being racially profiled for being black, he carried that mindset into his life, only to realize that his mind always revert back. Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not nothing to say about that, I guess. I was just talking about that with my brother earlier. It's like, even though I grew up here as a black kid, right? The fact that I'm a first generation in this country made it different to where I've never had the same mindset as another African American, right? To where there's always, if you have your own last name, that's not like a straight up European last name, you know, then you kind of still retain some of that identity, to where if you encounter racism at an early age, which I did too. I grew up in the South. I grew up with white kids here, and they were extra racist. Not all of them, but just certain people, you know. But it was never internalized because I have a African last name, you know what I'm saying? I'm attached to a culture outside the US, you know. So it's just it's just downgraded to regular teasing and not racially charged teasing, you know what I'm saying? But you know, yeah, I don't know, it's very interesting, you know. Especially if you grow up with Africans here, and then they are also racist towards African Americans. So that you hear and see that at home, then it's just like, you know, in a way that's kind of separating you from them. You know, if your own parents is kind of apprehensive towards African American kids, you know, which is kind of fucked up because it's like, damn. So really, it seems like the outside world hates them, not only white people with blood, but Africans too. You know. So I can't imagine growing up totally like that, you know. I didn't want this to get, you know, social political, but you know, here we are. This stuff ain't working. I can see something that I see a problem here. Oh, no. But dude, I like, you know, never had a lot of people come to my stream, but even in the Tekken era, like people who come to my stream often seem to be from all walks of life. Maybe because of the time I stream at odd hours. But you know, I like that. I like people being from everywhere. Oh, there was odd waking times for sure, bro. Thus is the life of artists, man. But we're gonna clean it up though, you know. Anyway. Anyway, this is okay. I think I'm gonna be done with this sooner than later. Cause I only have one other character to draw other than this guy. You know? Which he's gonna be somewhere on the top right here. That's where the character's gonna be. But that's then I'll ink it and then color it and it'll be cool. I'm happy as an artist I have a proper sleep schedule, but on the other hand, I'll get my ass scolded by a social worker. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a proper sleep schedule. No, I'm joking, but not really. No. Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. I'm kind of jealous, you know. But then for years I worked overnight jobs, so that kind of solidified just not having a good sleep schedule as a default, which isn't good, you know. So anyway. To give context to that, due to my autism and other disabilities, I live in an assisted living building where there's someone 24/7 here to help. Oh, okay. Definitely appreciate the context for sure. Sounds like there's proper social services for your country, you know. Sounds like they care about people. As a crazy thought, you know. Crazy thought where I'm from. That money, that's weird. That money where I'm from, that goes to the military, you know. I'll be sarcastic, but for real. Okay, that's cool. See, the thing about the spiky hair like this is that, well, not all the time, but it makes the character seem more edgy, you know? But more thicker hair like this, it makes it more trustworthy. This person is like some, what's this guy again? He's like a chief of this, you know, state. Like in Africa and Japan, you know how Japan has prefectures, I'm gonna say it. Or in Africa they have like states, kind of like that. So I don't want him to look as edgy like that, you know. I'm satisfied with that. Also, I noticed that I got something like that. Our system is built to help the people in need it. Yeah, dude. I mean, spoiler alert. Like, not spoiler alert, but that's kind of one of my goals to move to Europe. And this isn't just for this. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. You know, not sure where exactly, but you know, where you live should match how you want to live. You know, so we'll make it happen eventually. We'll make it happen. Sounds like a proper society from how you're describing it, you know? Okay. So I think I'm cool with that. Do know a little bit of German. Actually, quite a bit. I could, but we do plan on picking that up again. That's just out of completionist, you know, like you're beating a video game. Took German in high school, studied it a little bit. Never went there. Had a couple of German friends, but then I have some family who speaks French too, obviously in North Africa and stuff like that. So the language thing, if I'm willing, like. That's just me needing to apply myself. But I'm perfectly okay with learning German or French if need be. Well, if you need information on anything moving wise to like Netherlands, the government site, almost everything has an English section. Okay, cool. I might look into that, man. For sure. But then it's just about obviously getting good at something enough to make money from it, either to be a digital nomad or in order to either get some sort of visa like that or to have like a work visa for 3 months or something like that. But either way, you need to build a skill and get good at it to make you employable or to demonstrate that you can have some money. I mean, generally, I guess that's the method. So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now. It's tough, man. It's tough. But yeah. It takes time and work for sure. That's some of my motivations, man. That's what I need to think about more. But that's definitely something I want to do. But yeah. Now let me give some more context for me. Why not? We're all giving context, right? No, barely anybody watches this stream until I get more viewers, which I have plans to do that too, you know. If I go all in as an art YouTuber, start reviewing products, reviewing pens, brushes, you know, doing collaborations, stuff like that. But let's just say I have health conditions to where, do you multi-stream? Yeah, I do. I'm streaming on YouTube too right now. But I have an art channel that I made, but I don't really post to that much. It has like 30 subscribers, and that's what I'm streaming to right now. But I have a main YouTube channel with like 1.78k subscribers, and I mainly did fighting games. But now I'm pivoting to art, which is why I don't have as many subscribers like that. But I am streaming to YouTube right now. So yeah. Anyway, so I have some health conditions to where I can't really eat food processed like that. Processed food. And by process, I mean by the American standard, which means that's the nuclear standard, you know, when it comes to, we don't give a crap what's in the food. We want to make as much money as possible, you know. So much so that we have poisoned not only the food in your grocery store, but the actual soil itself, you know. So your seeds which that's worldwide in terms of GMO seed, but your seeds in the soil itself has glyphosate and has various other pesticides and shit in it, to where American soil is more poisonous than soil from other places in the world, which is problematic. Not only that, but the stuff the soil has absorbed and contaminated with, which then goes out to make 99% of products, which has some sort of GMO corn or soy or hydrogenated oils or many other things, is banned in many European countries, maybe the one you live in too. So, and this health condition has, it's been pretty rough, man. Let me just say that. I had some dark times, So to me, it's not just a preference or a want, it's actually like a health concern, Only now, when it comes to in 2026, when it comes to the Trump administration, and in particular when it comes to what's his name, Robert Kennedy, do you have like some certain, if you look at the Maha movement, when it comes to like, hey, okay, we want to look at what's in our food that has a whole essay, like you're reading the Bible, when it comes to looking at the ingredients of foods, And so, Robert Kennedy, I think his name is Robert Kennedy, to where, he's done some work to try and ban certain things, and some bans will take into effect in the next 5 years, in 2029 or some shit like that. And it'll just be certain, like certain artificial food dyes in certain foods. It's not like it's nothing substantial, And he can't do anything substantial because his president is bought and paid by various corporations. You know what I mean? The corporations who donate to his campaign to get him in office, and he answers to them. And so, one of those corporations is Bayer or Monsanto, that makes all the GMO seeds. And so, it doesn't matter who gets into U.S. president; they're all bought and sold by corporations, which includes food corporations, So essentially what I'm saying is that in the near and far future, nothing really going to change when it comes to the food quality in the U.S. Only thing that's going to change is the awareness of it. This is something that Robert Kennedy did well in terms of bringing awareness to the fact that you're not eating normal food, So that means that in certain stores, I know, dude. That means that in the next, it's kind of like what I talked about, digital art being a burgeoning industry, to where if you look at the food quality in the US, that's also a burgeoning thing, to where people are like just now getting aware of the dangers of eating certain foods. By certain foods, I mean like all foods in the grocery store, and you have to search and find a food that's meant for human consumption. So it's very early in the US when it comes to that, and so you're limited to going to Whole Foods or trying to find an egg farmer or trying to find a farmer that sources their own chickens. Many places in the US, you're not allowed to even own your own chickens, or collect your own rainwater, or do various other things. It depends on where you live, right? But as of now, you have to find a store that's like 50,000 miles from you in order to find something that's healthy, because none of that is in Walmart or Albertsons or Tom Thumb or any normal chain store. So it's rant, but it's a very early when it comes to a course correction, here in this country. And those who know have enough money or is privileged enough to live in a good part of the city in order to go to a grocery store that actually sells you human food. Like you said, there shouldn't be a necessary to read an essay for your ingredients. Well, yeah, welcome to this country. That's what you do. I agree, So that's the state of things, And if you do what I do and you forecast a future, then it's not changing anytime soon. You can say, okay, well, why don't you just move to Utah? Why don't you move to Idaho? Why don't you move to, why don't you move to Nebraska? There's where laws are more lax. You can do more homesteading, stuff like that, whatever. Like, the problem is it's a countrywide thing. So anywhere you live, you're the exception to trying to eat healthy food. You're the weird one, It's not it's a societal standard that matters, So Until then, you're going to be paying absorbent prices to eat what other people pay normally. You know what I mean? Since you are doing something that's different, you know? You're the novelty. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah. That's it for my talk. Yeah. And then if you don't get political about immigration and ICE and stuff like that, it's like, regardless of what you feel about immigration in the US, it's like, historically it's been much more easier to come here. Well, I don't know. I can't speak from experience from that. But if you live in a border state like I do, like in Texas or New Mexico or Arizona or California, and you see kind of the changing dynamics, you know, then I doubt this is happening in many other parts of the world for this long when it comes to like a bunch of people are here who are here illegally, you know? Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for that. But when you look up laws and visa laws in other places, it's just like, it's not easy to go from the US to other spots, you know? Versus you see an administration trying to course correct when it comes to, you know, migrants or illegal immigration coming into the US, you know? So, but thanks for the compliment, man. Yeah, I'm just trying to do something with it, you know, to make some sort of story, trying to use it appropriately, you know, make some sequential story with it, you know. I've been needing to do that long enough, you know, but. So my whole spiel was the fact that other countries don't accept a U.S. citizen for no reason, long term, you know, other than if you're visiting tourism, they don't accept that. Like, you gotta prove that you can do something, you know. One main goal is to support other artists and their stuff. Nice. Thanks, man. For sure. Yeah, I just need to speed up, you know, and have product, whether it's storytelling, whether it's merch, like that. Then, you know. But yeah, and for me, it's just kind of the same. I like supporting other artists too. I want to donate to so many people with Patreon, but I just don't have the money for that, you know. But once I do, then, you know, see, that's the subscriptions I like being on someone's Patreon that I like and I support what they do, not forced through like, you know, Netflix or Casino Pain or something like that. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, I'm good with this. So here is just putting the sketch down. I'm going to do a final ink and then it's going to be colored and stuff like that. I'm good with that. This is cool. I have no issue with that. I did want him to maybe carry like a book, you know, like in his hand or something. Like, can we take off Arsenius? Bam. Ooh, crap. I did want him to carry a book. Well, I mean, the perspective would be better, but you know, I did want him to carry like something like this and carry a book. Dude, feel free to. I would love more people to post, especially in my art section of my Discord. Dude, post away, bro. That's exactly what I want to build, you know, and have other people look at your art and you can request critique too. Dude, that's exactly what I'm trying to build, and you know, separate from like a gaming channel, you know. So please do. please do, because I'm going to assure there's going to be more people in there soon, you know? So, I definitely see it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna do this. That'd be cool, but not, you know, this is what it is. He's like some sort of, again, some chief to some state, you know, or at least pretending to be, without spoiling the story. So I don't need to do none of that. I just wanted to show him, you know. He should look like he has some money, you know, and wear some nice thrifts for this time period. That's all. Nothing crazy, you know. So yeah, man, that's about it for that. And it is late here, so you know, I'm just gonna make some final comments before I go. So I mean, these names don't mean anything until my story comes out. But you can see here that these are the names I want to do. I do what you want from my idea, for sure, man. It's good talking to you. Thanks for coming to stream, by the way. Before I end it in a couple minutes, but these are the names I wanted to do. So we've done everything, but we've taken care of everything, but this guy, you know. So this guy's kind of a villain, so we're gonna make him like, I don't really know this was my bad sketch for what I wanted him to be like, but we're gonna make him maybe kind of do this, really. Turn this, okay, put that, and maybe make him kind of be grabbing out or something, I don't know, but let me try and draw that a little better. And make him like reach out, you know. That's the hand, you know what I mean. And something like this, I don't know. Doing something, and he's gonna be like a dark silhouette, you know. So that's kind of my last character I'm gonna do, and then we're just gonna get to inking. Really, you're gonna ink it. Damn, I have to color that too. That's the thing about when you make the characters, like, I don't think of the characters' colors. I just think about how they look, what they're wearing. I don't think about the colors. I have to come up with colors for them. That's kind of annoying. You know. But yeah, we'll do that. So, all right, I'm out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. I'll probably be trying to be on some other day, tomorrow or 2 days from now. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys.